we've known for a long time that conservatives sometimes and liberals sometimes just look differently, right? Conservatives, and you know, this is a huge generalization, and it's not meant as a negative or positive about anybody. Please don't, there's no judgment associated with this. But conservatives tend to be more clean cut, you know, more high and tight haircuts, you know, more tidy lawns, fewer trees, you know, grass perfectly mown. I mean, and liberals tend to be more, you know, kind of wild-haired and you know, funky and that kind of, and I always wondered why. You know, what is this, what is driving this? What is the neuroscience behind this? Well, now I know. This is a seminal study done at New York University by social scientist David R. Amodio, A-M-O-D-I-O, and colleagues. And what they found is that there is a part of the brain called the ERN. Let me find where it says exactly what ERN stands for. Oh, error-related negativity. This is, this region of the brain is known as the anterior cingulate cortex. Notices things in your environment, notices things in your life that are inconsistent with the past. In other words, that are new, that are novel, or that are different. And sounds a warning. Danger, Will Robinson. When the ERN lights up, and you can actually see this on a brain scan, they say it's the ERN, which stands for error-related negativity, is a spike in brain activity that is triggered when we commit an error. It serves as a kind of internal alert system within our brain, signaling when a mistake has been made. It helps us navigate situations where established patterns or behaviors are ineffective and require adjustment. For example, if a person is learning to play a musical instrument and hits the wrong note, the ERN might spike, prompting them to correct their finger positioning and playing style. So this new study found that participants with liberal views exhibited a more pronounced ERN. This suggests that they have a heightened sensitivity to error signals, indicating a cognitive system that acknowledges the need for adjustments in perspective and strategy. Conservatives, on the other hand, exhibited a smaller ERN, which suggests their cognitive system. I'm reading, by the way, from Bobby Azarian and Ross Story. Trump supporters' brains prevent them from changing their minds. Conservatives, on the other hand, exhibited a smaller ERN, which suggests their cognitive system is more resistant to signals advocating change or reconsideration. We can think of this as a neural reflection of their preference for stability, tradition, and consistency. They value the familiar and the reliable. It's a mindset where radical shifts or sudden upheavals are perceived not as opportunities, but as threats to a delicate equilibrium. Conservatism is essentially a neurocognitive inclination aimed at preserving the status quo, which reminds me of William F. Buckley's famous saying back in the 60s, where he said, "A conservative is a man who stands athwart the arc of history with his hand out shouting, 'Stop.'" So what does this mean in terms of how we interact with conservatives? Well, what he's pointing out is that persuading conservatives who intend to vote for Trump by talking about how terrible Trump is not going to move the needle for these people. They don't care about how terrible he is. What they care about is what has always been: tradition, order, orderliness. So the way to talk to them is to frame arguments around stability, tradition, and consistency. In other words, you don't talk about Trump as, you know, hey, he's an evil man who grabs women by the crotch. Instead, you say, Trump is violating the norms of society. Trump is breaking the rules of society. Trump is upending the way that we always did things. Trump wants to abandon the American tradition of respect for a free press, for example. Trump wants to abandon the American tradition of a respect for the rule of law, respect for judges and courts. And if we could pound that over and over, so every time Trump comes out and attacks some judge, conservatives are thinking, wait a minute, he shouldn't be doing that. You're not supposed to attack judges. You see what I'm saying? Virtually everything that Donald Trump is doing these days is actually a violation of the norms. It's a violation of the status quo. It's a violation of the historic positions of America. Now, where conservatives are with Trump is where they think he's trying to take us back to the norms, right? Trump wants to reestablish segregation. Trump wants to kick out the brown people and make America white again. So that appeals to conservatives. But we have to point out to them that he's trying to do this using strategies that are violations of the norm. We don't round people up into concentration camps in America. But Trump wants to do that, etc. So I thought this was absolutely fascinating and, probably a fairly important message for anybody involved in political communication. We'll be back with your calls on the other side of the break here. It's 27 minutes past the hour. It's your media support group for We the People, the Thom Hartmann Program. Stay with us.